Thank you. Please could we have the next questioner, Linda Trenchard, who is asking about the Thames at Kennet now. Take your time. No hurry.
Kensington's at Kennet now is a special place, much love for its riverside, open space, with the posies wedding, park and riding, might damage the Thames and her surroundings, I think. What steps would RBC take to protect against pollution and other damaging effects? What steps would RBC take to protect against pollution and other damaging effects?
Best question I've heard in this chamber for a long time. Councillor Page, please could you reply?
First in my long career, the first time we've ever been sung a question, and also the first time for a rhyming question. So it's a double first, and I congratulate Ms. Trenchard and her colleague, whose name I don't know, on their rendition. I shall not sing my answer. But can I thank Ms. Trenchard and colleagues for their question, which allows me to update on an important public transport development. This council is committed to working with adjoining authorities to promote park and ride sites and other public transport initiatives that will reduce traffic, ease congestion, improve air quality and reduce noise. Due to Reading's historically constrained and now archaic boundaries, it is not practically possible to promote any park and ride sites within the borough. We are therefore reliant on the cooperation and goodwill of our neighbouring authorities to support the promotion of any new park and ride sites. As part of the approved Local Sustainable Transport Fund package, Woking Borough Council and Reading Borough Council are promoting 2 park and ride services to the east of Reading. The first is the submission of a joint planning application currently in with Woking for a park and ride site close to Winner's Triangle, which would provide a replacement for and a far more reliable alternative to the current Loganbridge site that suffers from periods of extended closure due to flooding. In fact, last year over 50 days closure due to flooding. The second opportunity is to develop an additional site to the east of Reading, close to Thames Valley Park and the waterside centre of Broken Brow. This proposal is subject to discussion and consultation with landowners, leaseholders and transport service providers. A planning application is currently being prepared for a park and ride facility at this location. Neither the Winnersh nor Broken Brow park and ride sites are reliant on provision of any additional road capacity and would enter and leave Reading along the A4 through Cemetery Junction. Additional bus priority measures to support park and ride services are actively being investigated between Thames Valley Park and Cemetery Junction. An option to minimise pollution impact would be to replicate the recently introduced compressed natural gas powered carbon neutral buses that are now operational on the South Reading Greenway service and the Scarlet 9 service to the Royal Berks Hospital. In the medium and longer term, both Reading and Woking councils have indicated within the adopted plan the aspiration for developing a mass rapid public transport system linking Reading Station via Thames Valley Park and ultimately down to Brandon. A Thames Valley mass rapid transit network would offer a step change in public transport travel for the Reading urban area. The mix between light rail and guided buses has yet to be determined. This Eastern Park and Ride link is a proposed public transport project to increase capacity and reduce journey times and congestion for communities and businesses in the eastern area of Reading and beyond. It could form part of a longer-term mass rapid transit network for the Thames Valley, or it could operate as a standalone mass rapid transit route between Reading Station and Thames Valley Park. A conventional park and ride facility at Broken Brow would therefore provide a complementary facility to any future eastern link of the Thames Valley mass rapid transit network. In terms of access, a future eastern link would also provide the potential for Heathrow Rail Air services and other express public transport services to operate more efficiently. The Eastern Link scheme is estimated to cost in the region of 22 million to deliver, but this is a very provisional estimate with no detailed proposals have yet been produced. We are considering potential means of funding a future Eastern Link. Funding could be sought through the emerging local transport body or other future devolved funding to the local enterprise partnership. It is likely that a prerequisite of any successful funding bid would need to demonstrate a local contribution through private and or public sector collaboration or an ongoing income stream to help finance the project, for example from the revenue of the Park and Ride car park. Madam Mayor, we are all aware that the current air quality standards around the Cemetery Junction area are poor, and any park and ride or mass rapid transit scheme that reduce flows of cars into Reading would be a major environmental benefit, not only in terms of air quality, but also in noise reduction. As someone who campaigned in the early 1990s against the late Berkshire County Council's crosstown route scheme, a dual carriageway road from Broken Brow to Baston Road that would have destroyed the environment of Kennet now, besides robbing Deep Meadow of valuable open space, I am very conscious of the environmental and planning sensitivities around the Kennet Mouth area. Any developments within Reading would be required to meet the Council's adopted policies, which include reference to open space and in particular current and potential locations for green networks and local wildlife sites. The Council's planning officers and the Planning Applications Committee would rightly require any proposals to be fully justified and sympathetic to the local environment. This Labour administration remains resolutely opposed to the latest ill-thought-out Tory proposals to resurrect the crosstown route scheme, which would have disastrous consequences for the environment of Kennet Mouth and nearby open spaces such as Deep Meadow.
Thank you, Councillor Page. Ms Trenchard, do you have a supplementary question?
Thank you for your reply. There is already a large area of parking space at the Thames Valley Business Park, most of which is empty at weekends and evenings, and could be used for park and ride service at these times. Has the Council considered other options such as this, rather than to further erode the peace and quiet of the Thames Line by building yet another expensive new car park?
Madam Mayor, as the questioner rightly acknowledges, there is space available at weekends and evenings, but of course a park and ride site needs to operate in peak hours when a lot of those spaces are taken up. We have not ruled out using spaces within Thames Valley Park as well, but there is a key need for spaces, particularly at peak hours, if marked park and ride is going to work. We are in discussion with Thames Valley Park. They are potential funders of an element of any scheme, but these are early days. So your suggestion is one that has already been flagged up. We will be in discussions with them, but it's not either or, it would be both.
Thank you very much for your question.